Are you considering making a move in Houston in 2023? Maybe you're considering buying for the first time or selling and upgrading or downsizing. Here's some information that you're going to want to know. Hey y'all, I am Melanie Beran with Real Broker LLC, my home in Houston, helping you get from where you are to where you want to be. And we're going to talk today about the home buying outlook for the Houston area, because there are a lot of articles out there that are going to tell you this and that and all of these things are going to happen. But a lot of those are looking at broad scale across the nation, or even the major media cities like New York and LA. And we know that here is nowhere like there. So let's talk about what's going to happen right here in the Houston market, what some of the expectations are, what some of the data is telling us, so that you can think about making a move in 2023. The first thing you're going to want to know is that home prices have stabilized over the last few months in the Houston area. That's right, I said stabilized. I didn't say they're continuing to go down. I'm talking to a lot of home buyers who are saying, hey, home prices are falling, I'm just gonna keep waiting. When the reality is, based on the data from HAR, over the last several months, the median home price has stayed right around $330,000 for the Houston area. It did peak up a little bit higher than that earlier in the summer, but in the last 3 to 4 months, we have really just seen it stabilize as opposed to fall. So that's one thing that you're going to want to know, whether you're buying or selling, is that home prices have stabilized over the last several months, Q4, in the Houston area. And home prices have stabilized because inventory has also more or less stabilized. Inventory is a metric that we use to talk about how many homes there are for sale, and it's measured kind of in months. And in the Houston area, around the 4s pre-COVID was pretty typical. When it got really, really tight in the COVID madness, it was down at like 1.2 months, 1.3 months. We're up now in about 2.7, 2.8, and we've been staying right around that area for many, many months now in a row. So we're not seeing this huge explosion of inventory homes available for sale. We're not seeing a huge drop in inventory of homes for sale. And that's one of the reasons things have kind of stabilized. Inventory has stabilized and median price has stabilized. Because things are stabilizing, it's moving more into what we would call a balanced market. Basically, a balanced market means the buyer and seller kind of have an equal amount of power in the negotiations. If it's an extreme buyer's market, there's way more houses for sale. If it's an extreme seller's market, like we've seen the past couple of years, there's not near enough homes for sale. But now we're kind of getting more towards the balance. We're kind of getting in the middle. What that means is that sellers are often agreeing to more concessions, whether that is home repairs or potentially seller contributions to closing costs, which can help the buyer get in the home for less money up front. So sellers are agreeing to some of those contributions that they weren't in the past, maybe $3,000, $5,000, maybe even a little bit more than that, depending on the home and the overall offer, but they're not agreeing to lowball offers. Like I said, the last several months, the median price has stabilized, so sellers are agreeing to concessions. They're agreeing to giving the buyer a little bit of what they want, but they're not agreeing to home offers, if the home is priced right to start with, that are 10% below the list price. A $500,000 home is not going to right off the bat accept a $450,000 offer. That's just not the market we're in. So while things have stabilized, it is a balanced market. It's not an extreme buyer's market. A couple of things to know moving forward into 2023. One is that mortgage applications in the first couple of weeks of January were much higher than were anticipated. That means more home buyers are entering the market. This is a supply and demand market. So if more buyers are moving into the market, there's going to be more demand for the homes that are available, and inventory remains a little bit low. So you are going to have some competition if you're considering buying a home. And if you're selling a home that's been well maintained and it is well priced, you still could be looking at a multiple offer scenario. Several of my most recent listings, we have well priced the home, have still been multiple offer scenarios. Another thing to know is that Texas has had a higher job growth rate than the nation as a whole. We know that the Texas economy is run a lot by many of our industries here that support the rest of the nation. I mean, we're right on the corner of the Port of Houston. So we know that the Texas economy is strong, and that means people are continuing to get jobs here. People are continuing to move here. If I'm not mistaken, Tesla has announced that they're going to put a big facility out over by Katy. So there's a lot of growth still happening here in Texas, and especially in the Houston area. So this area would be expected to be a little bit more protected from some of the economic turmoil that some other areas are seeing. So Houston remains strong. Houston remains a place that people are moving to, a place that buyers have more choices, homes, but sellers can still get multiple offers for their homes. So what does all this mean? I would say that the economic outlook or the home outlook, or let's just say the motto for 2023 should be, let's be reasonable. Buyers still need to be reasonable with shopping inside their pre-approval budget, with not expecting to lowball offers and win for a home that is priced rightly. If the home is way overpriced, then you would get away with a lowball offer after it's been on the market in a few weeks. But overall, if the home is priced rightly, buyers need to be reasonable and still expect to pay pretty close to that list price. But sellers also need to be reasonable. We need to make sure, if you're a seller, that you are pricing your home correctly, that you are working with a local real estate agent who is working with the local comps that can compare your home correctly and help you know where to price your home. And you also want to understand that you may need to accept offers that have seller contributions, that have requests for repairs, that you may need to negotiate more repairs during the inspection period or the option period. So those are some things that you're going to want to do, because here's where we end up. The seller wants to sell a home, the buyer wants to buy a home. So if we can all be reasonable, there's no reason that a seller can't walk away happy and a buyer can't move into a great home for them. So the overall forecast, the overall motto for 2023 is, let's be reasonable. If that was helpful to you, make sure that you like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss all of my upcoming videos that are going to help you move from where you are to where you want to be. And of course, if you have a question, if you have a comment, drop it down in the comments and I'll be there to help you out. I hope something really great happens to you today.